Ja, hallo ihr Lieben, hier spricht Seda Röder von Sonophilia Foundation. Ich bin sehr, sehr glücklich darüber, dass wir heute einen letzten Livestream haben können mit dem Billy Andrews, aka The Dark Tether. Hey, Billy, how are you?
Good, good, good. How are you doing? How are you doing?
Very good. So we decided to keep this in both languages. So we will switch back and forth.
Yes.
Wir
We'll do
werden
an
es immer wieder.
interactive bilingual chat.
Yeah, yesterday at the book fair panel, someone said it's a hyper communication age.
Awesome.
So, absolutely. So, Billy, I just want to recapitulate or recollect once again for the people who are just joining this live stream for the first time what we are doing. Sonophilia Foundation is an organization, it's a non-profit organization, and we're establishing it right now. So, the last signatures are about to fall in Munich. And we are dedicated to democratizing creativity for everyone. What I mean by that is that we want to make creativity easy to access for everyone, especially when it comes to their own inherent creativity and potential and personal growth. So those are topics that are very important to us. And behind all of that, we also have hard science. So we're collaborating with scientific organizations in order to understand how creativity, which is the force that enables everything in the world, more or less all innovation, how that force actually works in the brain, and how we can change and tweak our systems and our education and our own personality so we can use more of that inherent resource. And to that end, I'm really, really happy that you've accepted to become our very first Sonophilia pioneer. We have asked you, Billy, because you're one of the most innovative artists. You are already someone who looks into so many different realms, brings together things that are on the surface, are not connected yet, which is actually the essence of creativity, bringing things together that are not connected yet. And this live stream has the particular topic to one, promote our book.
Yeah, that's what
Exactly.
we're here for.
So we just
It's an awesome
brought
book.
out a book which is called Creativity Matters. And we have a tiny video on the background running about the book. I don't know whether you guys can see it yet. And that book is a collection of 16 stories from everyday people about how they use their creativity. And to that end, within the next couple of days, Billy and I will be publishing his creativity tips. And we want to ask you guys also to provide your creativity tips. So, Billy, let's talk about your creative rituals a little bit as a musician. Where do you, what do you do day in, day out, to go into the zone, so to speak?
Oh man! So first of all, I'm super happy to be a pioneer of the Sonophilia Foundation and to promote the book, which is out as of today. So everyone out there, go ahead and get it. It's awesome. It's available digitally, so you don't have to go anywhere except for online. And I believe the link is there. You go. There's the link: sonophilia.com/book. So if you guys want to check that out, it's an awesome book, and it might and it will spark great ideas in you if you want to explore your own creativity and discover that it's not as difficult as you might think. So yeah, I mean, the creative zone, as someone who's always been in the creative sector, you really never leave that zone, right? So there are different levels that you can access. There's like this everyday creativity kind of thing going on where you're putting together, as you said, putting together puzzle pieces to create something brand new, right? So literally, you're creating a best of elements and forming a new picture. So I do that on a daily basis anyway, because I'm not only a singer or a composer, but I do a lot of management parts. I do a lot of marketing. You as an artist, you basically have such a large range of doing things, as you might know with your own job, right? Everyone who's creative these days knows I need to be a marketing expert. I need to be someone who knows how to write stuff down to be able to market it, and so on and so on. So those aspects of business have become a huge creative part. So creative people actually they have an advance on all of this, because they already know how to pull all of these pieces together and form something that is made of all of these pieces. So, but to get into, let's say, a songwriting vibe or into the zone of that, I've discovered that it's really important to put aside other things that need a lot of structure. For example, maybe parts of management, maybe parts of marketing, maybe parts of other business related things such as finance, for example. Put those aside to be able to really dive into what is the melody, what's the focus on this part of the song, how do I really want to incorporate this, or myself, what are my feelings, right? So you really try and touch those things first. And I don't really need anything. I don't need substances such as big artists have used in the past. I don't need that. Yeah. I mean, alcohol is also a substance, right? I don't need alcohol to be able to get into the creative zone. So what I do need is a good vibe with someone else. I love working with someone else, and I love being encouraged by someone else to try something new. I love songwriting. I love co-songwriters that'll push me over the edge of trying to think of something, because I'll go like, yeah, that's awesome, and someone else will go like, no, that's not enough. And I'll be like, but why? And they're like, well, because it's just not enough. There's something better out there. And so you keep the songwriting thing is all about hunting the best possible melody and the best possible creative, most creative outcome that you could have, right? So that's pretty much it. I really need the vibe of someone else and the energy between me and someone else to really be highly creative in a musical sense. I can do it by myself, but I love doing it with other people. So it's really a game of play between two people, at least two people.
And something that is kind of, that looks like it's a very artistic thing, but everybody can probably tickle it, is this inherent motivation. So artists manage to kind of wake up every day. Sometimes when you look into all those like self-help books, so to speak, you see that something that, as if something that kind of separates people who are really successful from people who are not so successful is their possibility to self-motivate, which is probably, when it comes to creativity, actually not really true. I think what makes artists at the end of the day so creative or outstanding as creative people is this their possibility, their engagement with even the boring. So even when stuff gets really tough and you're not feeling like it, and you're not really, so it's not only about going into the zone, but also forcing yourself every day to wake up and to do your routines, and those routines can be really creative. So do you have something like that kind of, even if you're not feeling like it, what do you do?
What I've learned is throughout the many years I've always hassled. I've always been like, no, I can't go on vacation. I really need to, I just need to be going and going and going. What I discovered just 2 years ago, actually, that it doesn't matter. You just self-care is so important, not only in the creative zone, but it's really important to take care of yourself. And things that I do are, for example, I love espresso, but I noticed that if I stop drinking espresso, I will be even more healthy. I'll be relaxeder. I can sleep better, and that all of that contributes. Many things contribute to being more creative. So I love working out every day. I do that every day. I do my sports stuff every day in the morning. I try not to drink a liter of espresso per day. My girlfriend.
You mean not like this?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, there's many people that are into, for example, meditation, are into breath work, that are into all those kind of things. That for some reason is super boring for me. So that has never become a part of my morning thing. So I love waking up. So here's to get it on I love talking a lot. So here's the core of it. I wake up early. That's what I do. I wake up at 5:30 in the morning. I love, since I have a dog, I love going out with the dog in the morning. Wait a second. Here she is. Check this out right there.
Oh, hey, Amy.
Yeah. She's hanging out. She's like, shut up, man. Shut up. I don't like going outside. So wake up early. Wake up early. Wake up early on a regular basis. Make that your time to get up. And don't be afraid of 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, because it literally, after a while, it doesn't matter, right? The time doesn't matter. It matters when you go to bed and in what state you are when you go to bed, right? That's what matters. So wake up early in the morning. Don't touch your cell phone in the morning. Do whatever recreational thing you have in the morning is good for you. I go out with Amy, who's about to jump off the bye-bye. I go out with Amy. After that, I work out, and I have an espresso, right? So those are the things I do. When I go on tour, things slightly change. So I stopped drinking alcohol completely. I stopped drinking coffee completely. I don't eat carbs at all. No carbs at all. No pasta, no pizza, no nothing. I basically go, most of the time I'm vegetarian anyway, but I'll go vegan or vegan almost even. So no cheese, no milk. I don't drink milk anymore.
Do you do that only during tours?
Before tour, yeah, I do that as a preparation, and it really just cleans out your body. I don't, because when you're on tour, you're on an extra stress level. You're on a stress level, and you're also in a quiet zone a lot, because between a show and between waking up, there's a lot of nothing, right? There's just a lot of time to spare. So I fill that up with all kinds of creative stuff. But being on tour for your body is stressful. You're in a night liner or in a hotel. Everything's constantly changing depending on where you sleep. So you really need to be consistent with how you eat, how you drink. Drink a lot of water. Water is super important. So that's what I do. It's a lot of hot water. And before tours, I'll do only that, right? No sugar.
Actually, all of those things, what you're saying, is the opposite of what people believe of creatives. So it looks like, firstly,
it's changed, right? It has
exactly.
changed.
So firstly, for instance, people think that being creative is about being chaotic. So what you're just saying is the exact opposite. So, you have a very strict routine, and you are it looks like you're really in control of your body, thus also in control of your mind. I mean, as far as it goes, because we have these pictures of creative people who kind of never manage anything, and as if anything happens in terms of creativity, it's just because it's luck. you know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what? I do have to say all of these structures help when going into chaos.
Mm,
Because yeah, songwriting and creating music and creating melodies and lyric really has more structure to it than the normal day person would think.
mm,
Because songs, I mean, if you listen to a song, most of the songs have a clear structure, so you're working within structures anyway. In
mm,
classical music, everything is very mathematical, even, right? So the way Bach composed or the way Beethoven composed, everything's Bach was like, oh my God, I have to compose so much. I'm just going to go copy paste and change two notes in it, right? So, but that's yeah, with Bach,
mm,
everything is really, he could change it, go back and forth, and it would still make sense. And
mm,
so once you've sung Bach, um, you can basically almost sing all of his stuff because it's just so close to each other. You just have to remember, okay, he did this note a little bit. So it's very
mm,
mathematical. But all of the structure in my life really helps to dive into the chaos of songwriting, especially if you're writing with someone else that you don't know very well. And I love
mm,
doing that. I love collaborating with other songwriters that I've met maybe once. So I'd go on songwriting camps, really nice songwriting camps, and meet people for the first time and sit with them for a day. And you'd start
mm,
with nothing, and then the end of the evening at 6 p.m. You'd start at 10, and at 6 p.m. you would then have a finished song as a demo with vocals on it
mm,
that you created within 8 hours. And that's how I met Rob Wells, who also produced the Backstreet Boys and Justin Bieber.
mm, cool.
And I met him in Greece, and his girlfriend, who was highly pregnant. And we wrote Out of the Darkness, for example. We wrote that song within a day, which is
Mm,
like that. And you've never met these people, but you have a creative kind of um, language that is unique worldwide, right? And that's
mm,
what's so fascinating. And these guys, I mean, sure, I speak English, they speak English, but this whole chaos system that you go into has a base structure, but making something that will attract a lot of people to the melody, that is pure chaos. You have
mm,
no clue what's going to happen when you start writing. You don't know. Right.
mm.
So, and that's the nice thing. I think all of the structure around it really helps me, lets me dive into that chaos because I know I can come out of that chaos and be structured again.
So how does it happen? How often does it happen that you create something and it's perfect the first try?
Oh, wow. That is very, 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 very
De-
difficult because
yeah,
that
I mean,
basically,
define perfect, right? Define
yeah,
perfect.
yeah, as I've already said, as a songwriter at some point, and as a classical singer, you always want things to be perfect, right? Perfection
Mm,
is something you learn in classical music. You have to be perfect. You have to breathe perfectly. You have to sing perfectly, right? And suddenly you're in pop and in rock and all that, and suddenly imperfect is the new perfect. So as a classical singer, you're like, what? Everything I've
mm.
learned is not true. I have to find a way to I have to find a way to combine it. So things like take a song, for example, my song Fade. Fade was written within 45 minutes. All the melodies, the lyric, and the arrangement was finished within 45 minutes. That
Mm,
is something that is perfect. It
mm,
feels perfect. You leave, you get into the airplane, and you're like, how did this happen? And
mm,
that is one of those magical moments where everyone in the room has exactly the same vibe. Everyone's communicating on exactly the same level. Everyone has
mm,
exactly the same idea without talking to each other. And you just go and it happens, right? That's something that'll happen, not very often, but that's a perfect moment of creation. And then very often things will feel perfect, things will be perfect when they feel that they were perfect and unique at the same time,
mm,
right?
mm,
So those kind of moments occur in a live set on stage more often than when you're writing a song, right? You'll go
mm.
like, fuck, that was the perfect moment.
But
that
also,
happened.
yeah, I know. I totally know what you're talking about. And you always feel that kind of synchronicity, so to speak, with people and with the stuff that's around you. You just feel as if the whole universe wants you to succeed, right? So it's just working for you. But the thing is also, I think, let's talk about the mindset that is required to actually optimize your environment for that kind of nice, synchronous moments to happen. So I think it requires a certain openness.
Absolutely.
I think it also requires a certain, let's don't give a shit about things that could go wrong. So because sometimes when we struggle with everything around us, stuff is not standing where it should be, and so you get really nervous.
You're talking about 2020, right?
Yeah.
That's like things are not in the right place all the time right now. Super weird.
Absolutely. And I mean, you kind of have to maybe we should talk about that kind of artistic mindset that just optimizes the environment a little bit more for those, let's say, lucky coincidences. So you can just prepare your environment in such a way that stuff like that can just happen more often to you.
Yeah. So I haven't found the key to promote things just happening. I haven't found the key to that yet. I have discovered that not being afraid of things, just letting it go and just keep going forward is something that definitely promotes things happening, right? I mean, I set up my own record company last year. I have a brand new, wonderful management that knows exactly what to do and when to do things, and is helping me on the way to a new studio album next year and a Christmas album right now. So I think it's really, fear only helps me when I'm really in the position where I need to do things to get things moving. I'm an Aries, so Aries will wait forever until they really have to do things, until it's really necessary. Because Aries naturally can do a lot of things very quickly, very intelligently, so no one notices they did it on a short call. Some of my fans would be very, very impressed or surprised, or they'd probably tell me prepare better next time, if they knew with how short notice wise I sometimes am, right, in working. Matthias, are we seeing the questions that are coming in? No, we don't see the questions coming in. Do you see questions coming in?
No. Wait, we have to go to the comments maybe. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, here.
We can see the comments coming in.
Now we can see them. Yeah. So is being creative a gift, or can everybody be creative?
No, everyone's creative, man. Sarmad. Everyone on this planet is a creative. Animals are creative. Animals have to be creative, and humans are nothing else but animals in the end. So you're born with creativity. You can be creative at any time, and there are a lot of techniques to learn how to elevate your creativity, and a lot of great books. And there's one book out there that will help you now, which is Creativity Matters. So read that book, get that book. It's digital. You can get it everywhere. But yeah, man, creativity is for everyone, and it's for free.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, there it is. See, this is our book. Just go to our website, and then you can order it. Right now, it's available on Books on Demand, and next week you can get it on Amazon too. Yeah, and I would really appreciate it if you read the book, write something nice about it, so all our ratings go up. So thank you, guys. So much so for the for the advertising.
Yeah, we need to. I mean,
But
this is what we're here for too, right? I mean, it's a book fair.
well,
We're live at the Frankfurt Book Fair, so we need to promote the book. I mean, it's a book. That's good.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But also, so you have this, songwriting routine.
Mm.
And we had, when we were doing the book, we had to kind of go every day, all of the 16 authors, while we were writing our chapters for the book, stand up every day, wake up every day, go to your desk and write the freaking damn 200 words every day, right? So or try to finish the story, or kind of really know what you want to do with it. And we could all, I mean, I was sensing that we were able to do that kind of thing together. You can imagine how difficult it is to synchronize 16 people. But everybody was really doing it every day without being bored, or even if they were kind of being bored, they were forcing themselves to do the routine because they knew that it was something they wanted to do. And with you, it's the same thing. How do you get rid of that fear that, that's keeping you from doing things that really matter?
Well, you're saying something really really terrific right there. You just do it every day. It's repetition, it's building things. It's the nice thing, and what people forget is that if you're creative, or in my case, if you just sing every day, the chemistry in your head changes. You become lightheaded and happy. So that's something that your body does all by itself, and then fear goes away, and you really want to dive into something that is fun. So sometimes, you know what? Sometimes creativity has parts that you really need to do every day, and to build the stamina of just having that tool set that you need to be able to be creative or elevate your creativity. And then there's other parts of creativity that you don't have to push, right? So if it's not happening, if you're not coming up with a great melody, if you're not coming up with the right words for your 200 text page, then what I've experienced is go on a break. Don't force it. Do something completely else, something completely different. Go and work out. Have a cup of coffee, espresso. Go for a walk with your friends. That kind of stuff, and just pull your head out of that rabbit hole. And then very often what happens to me is then that during the time that I'm doing this other thing, ideas will come, and I'll be like, I'm sorry, I have to leave. I've got the idea now. Bye-bye. Thank you for your help. Yeah.
I have a very difficult question coming up now. So
awesome.
We do things and we excel at things in which we're already, it feels kind of easy to us. So things come a little bit more easily to us, and people out there might say, of course, Billy, you're so successful because you're doing something that really is your strength. So you're building upon your strengths, and it's not a terrifically big deal, might some people think, to excel at things that seem to be kind of already in your genes, in your talents, etc. Do you think, though, that we could excel at things even if they are at the beginning not that easy, even if they don't come that easily to us, just by practice?
Yeah, I mean, that's literally I mean, that thing of it not being easy is there for me too, right? It's not only out there for people that have never sung or have never written a song or have never written a book or whatever. That hey man, that's not easy. I really need to do repetition of it to find out what's the technique to get there, and what's the so that is really the basic thing of it. Just keep going and keep going and keep going. It's like building a muscle, working out. It's like running until you're able to run the marathon. It's like and then after that, I mean, you're like, okay, I've run the marathon. What am I going to do now? Oh, I'm going to run the Ironman or whatever else there is, strongman out there. So yeah, it's all about building the base by repetition and by techniques that you can learn. And there are different kinds of techniques out there for whatever your creative thing is you're doing, to learn to excel quicker, right?
Yeah.
So you can do it by yourself and listen to yourself and your body, and you'll notice what helps and what doesn't. If you're a singer, you'll notice that very quickly. Learning an instrument, there are different kinds of schooling techniques to go faster, quicker, or to be better in tune, better, or whatever. And you just have to try and see what works for you. That's the general thing. But other than that, it's really just repetition. And for me, it's repetition. If my voice gets, I mean, I have a show next week in the Dresdner Kreuzkirche in Dresden with a symphony orchestra. I really need to practice. Right? Because you're singing up against an orchestra and without a microphone. So that is something.
Whoa.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a classical singer, and it'll all be fine somehow. But that's something you really have to train your body. You need to tell your body, look, you don't have a microphone. You can't smart ass everyone out of this thing. You really, because if you have a microphone as a singer, there's a lot of things you can do without, you can sound big without really having to go like this, right? But if you're singing with an orchestra, you really have to go like this all the time. So, or most of the time. So, you really have to put the practice down, and don't be afraid to just to try again if you failed. It doesn't matter.
My last question, and I want to bring it back to the topic of how creativity and innovation actually relate, because as I just said at the beginning of this conversation, you're not only a great singer, but you're also very innovative. You're one of those people who don't rely on the typical day-to-day creativity a singer sometimes might just have, and just do the same thing because it's what pays the bills. Why not? Why change things? But you go and you reinvent things, and you even reinvented now a violin. So why do you push yourself to the edge, even if it's so difficult?
I get bored really quick. That's another Aries thing. But I started the dark tenor thing because I saw that people in front of the stage were either falling asleep in the opera house, or they were bored, or they almost died because Wagner opera takes 9 hours or 6 hours or whatever. And so I was like, okay, how can this be cool? And I mean, the composers back then were cool guys, and I played violin for 16 years. So I was like, okay, so how can I reimagine a kid wanting to learn a violin that's not fucking boring? So I searched the web a lot, and I saw that there's 3D printing out there, and last year, I had the calling to get on this project. Was last year I met you and Matthias at the Karajan Music Tech Festival in Salzburg, and there was this guy who had a 3D printed ukulele, and I was like, what's this? And I was like, this is weird. It's white. It's made of, I don't know what it's made of, plastic or some kind of filament. And I was like, okay. So I started playing it, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. It actually sounds like a real ukulele, and ukuleles are made of wood, right? So I was like, okay. So that initially sparked the idea of, why can't I do this to a violin? Why can't I do this to a guitar? Why can't I do this to other things that need reinvention and a level of invention that will later trigger kids and mainstream to say, wow, that old instrument's not old anymore. That's new. That's like, it sparks the idea of wanting to know more about the instrument, right?
And you don't have to worry about breaking it.
Exactly, man. I mean, you can just yeah. I did a photo shoot for these 3D printed violins, and I added another layer to this whole thing. So I was like, okay, so we can we can make it translucent, and I can have LEDs in it that'll make it glow, right? So I started working with friends of mine and partners, and we came up with the idea how to make this show tick for my on stage appearances, and we came up with a really cool idea. But yeah, you're right. For the photo shooting, then we did time lapse photos where I let it fall, so the light will fall with the violin falling. And yeah, you can let the violin fall. You can throw it. I don't know if you can. I've never tried throwing it against the wall or something, but yeah, it'll be more difficult to break this violin, and so it's perfect for schools, for kids that want to learn the instruments. It's not as it's less expensive than a real violin, and it sounds cool. It sounds like a violin. I myself was surprised, and my mom was surprised. My mom's a violinist, and I gave her the violin. I gave her a prototype, and I was like, "Play this," and she was like, "That's not a violin." I was like,
Oh, there it is. Hey,
"There
see?
it is, awesome." Matthias,
Yeah,
thank you.
well
Yeah,
done.
yeah, so that's the
Yeah.
prototype. You can see it's glowing red.
It's the glowing violin. It's
Yeah, wait a
awesome.
second. Let me show you. I have another pre-made pre-made violin right here.
Hey, wow, look at
Right. I'm
this.
sorry.
It's a
Sorry. Yeah,
beautiful
sorry, I didn't
instrument.
show you this first. So this is even before the violin that Matthias just showed you, right? So this is
Awesome.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is made on the base of a developer in the States, and
Mhm.
you can see that it has tears in it on the back right here. So this is a pre-prototype. This is a pre-prototype type, and
Mhm.
it's made of two parts. You can click this in. Every child can make this violin. So I, in the
Awesome.
end, yeah, in the end, it's always custom made. So
Mhm.
right now I'm working on my shop to sell it on thedarktenor.com/shop. That'll be online very soon, and you'll be able to order this in two parts. And all you do
That
is
is super cool. Yeah.
you click this into the base part of it. You put the rod in right here,
Mhm.
and these four parts. So you're building your own violin, right? So that's
How
another cool
awesome.
part.
Yeah.
So kids can take this to school. They can play on it. It's not in tune at all right now, but
Yeah. Well, it
um,
does sound like a violin, so
yeah, it sounds like a violin. And as you can see it a little bit. It's translucent.
mhm.
And kids can actually snap this together, take it home, or take it to school and show it to their friends and say, "Hey, man, I play violin, and this is what it looks like." And by the way, I could also probably play table tennis with it, because yeah,
because it won't break.
because it's not going to
So
break.
yeah,
Exactly.
how do you know? I see a question from Marlene. How do you know then which ideas are worth following? How do you know where to go for?
Um, I never know. You never know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's things that obviously are out in the industry, so you do your research. You obviously, I have a lot of fans, so I listen to my fans. As someone said in the last live streams, we have two ears and we have two
Sorry,
ears
that's
and
our
one
dog.
one mouth. So we should be listening double as much as we speak. And so I listen to my fans. I listen what they like, and I listen to what they like. And one other thing was when I discovered that, okay, this is the right way to go. I talked to a friend of mine who's a music teacher in Bonn, and I talked to her about this idea of 3D printed violins, and she was like, "Oh, that's really cool." And I was like, "Why do you think it's really cool?" And she was like, "Well, we have a 3D printer in school." And I was like, "You have a 3D printer in school?" She was like, "Yeah, we have like this AG, Arbeitsgemeinschaft, that kids will learn if they want to how to use the CAD system to design bits and pieces to then print them overnight. So when they come back to school the next day, they have their 3D printed whatever they have." right? Whatever they wanted to create. So I was like, okay, if kids are into 3D printing, then probably this is not such a bad idea to pursue. And apart from that, I've noticed that if I think it's a cool idea, and if I think, yeah, I'd go out and I'd play this violin. Now I'm having my guitar 3D printed too. I had my guys design my guitar that I use on stage with the Dark Tenor logo on it. I had them design that so I can play it on stage, right? So I was like, okay, so I really think it's a cool idea, and I'm just going to make everyone else believe it's a good idea.
That's
so
super
just trust
cool.
it. Just trust yourself.
Really,
yeah,
really.
I mean,
exactly.
Yeah. Your instincts. I'm not always right, but your instincts would always help you promote your ideas. And if if you trust your instinct enough, you're going to notice that you're going to be fine in the end. Yeah.
Awesome. I think that's a great point to also end our live stream for today. I want to thank you so much for this, nice journey from creativity into innovation, into follow your instincts, and actually try out. So, and if I think when you're really convinced of an idea being the right thing, then you kind of also try to convince others that it's the right thing to do. And
and that's also the baseline, I think, is instincts are, your instinct is what lies beneath creativity, and your instinct will let you travel the right way anyway. And we've stopped learning what instinct means and how to actually embrace instinct, because we're in this weird system where creativity and instinct are not part of the game anymore. So we really want to promote that. Be creative, trust yourself. If you think you should use red instead of blue, go ahead and use red or blue, mix them up and see what happens. Just follow your instincts and what feels good for yourself. Right. So I'm super honored to be part of this brand new. Thanks, Matthias.
I love my team.
Yeah, I'm super happy to be part of the Sonophilia Foundation and to be a pioneer. I'm very, very sure there are great stuff, great things coming up, and everybody who's watching, go out and get the book. It's on sonophilia.com/book.
Book. Yeah.
There you go.
Exactly. So it's all blue now.
Awesome.
I want to thank you so much. And guys, don't forget, from now on, from today on, we are starting a new series on we're starting a new series on Creativity Matters, and we are going to be collecting your tips for everyday creativity, and also suggestions by Billy Andrews. Oh my God, my head. From Billy, so every day, and we will be publishing them. So please do submit yours with the hashtag Creativity Matters and hashtag Sonophilia on either Dark Tenor pages on Facebook, Instagram, or on our pages. We will be making them look nice, and we will be publishing them so everybody can read them, your tips. Thank you guys so much. Stay tuned, and looking forward to Christmas. That violin is on the Christmas album.
Yeah. Exactly. There's the Christmas album coming out on the 13th of November, ladies and gentlemen. And I also played this violin on the recording of the album, right? So it'll be out there very soon. And yeah, you guys go and get the book now. It's awesome.
Bye.
Bye.